And protecting women's rights, empowering women, including through the participation to the political and economic life, as well as in the parliament, it is a concern of the Romanian parliament. Unfortunately, today, only 18% of the MPs are female and only 9% of ministers are women. It is extremely important to increase the number of women in the national parliaments in order to ensure fairer legislative practices and a genuine democratic society. Women in politics would bring more topics related to health, education and care, and children and older people care and protection on the public agenda. Last October, we set up a working group at the level of the Parliament for promoting women's rights, together with the civil society and German embassy and members of all political parties. The objective of this working group is to empower women and to fight for the reproductive rights of women, also to fight against gender violence and harassment. Last November, in the Romanian Senate, we organized the international conference, Women MPs in Romania and Promoting Gender Equality as a National Commitment. The event sought to establish a forum for debates convergent at the national and European level, aimed at empowering all women MPs in Romania. On this occasion, the platform Women MPs in Romania was launched to enable the Romanian women MPs' unitary voice, the adoption of courageous approach on gender issues, and for the identification of the best solutions for the problem faced by the Romanian women, regardless of their political affiliation. The Committee on Human Rights, Equal Opportunities, Religious Confessions and Minorities of the Senate has organized discussions to initiate a draft law that intends to improve the quality of policies on gender issues. With such a draft law, we intend that all public and private entities with more than 20 employees to have a specialist in gender policies and to get necessary data for public policy making. Currently, there are a number of draft laws in the Parliament that supports empowering of women. For example, we have a draft law on extending unemployment support and benefits to victims of domestic violence. Also, we have a draft law protecting children, direct or indirect victims of domestic violence. Unfortunately, children are one of the most affected victims of domestic violence. Also, we have a draft legislation on the minimum 30% of quota for each gender for political parties, for the list for the Parliament, for both the Senate and the Chamber. The idea would be to have a zip method system that both men and women are participating on the lists on eligible positions. Also, there is a draft legislation on annual subsidies granted to political parties from the state budget to be allocated proportionally with the number of women elected in general and local elections. A similar algorithm will be applied for young people. There's also a draft legislation on minimum representation quota of 30% of total candidacies for both women and men for local elections, and also to have 30% for boards of state-owned enterprises. We have also important legislation introducing the age of consent for sexual acts with underaged and a postpartum depression week at the beginning of October. This is still a long way to go, but we are determined to continue, and my presence here is a pledge and a guarantee. Thank you.